everybody doing? Today's Thursday. So, I have been granted my Instagram privileges again, and so we will see how that goes. I cannot promise that I will not say something or do something that will not have me kicked off again. So, for as long as this lasts, let's go for it. It's been really great. So, here's what I want to say. Follow me on YouTube because YouTube doesn't do there's different protocols. Let's say it that way. YouTube doesn't kick me off. So follow me on YouTube. But more than that, join my community. Follow the sun. You can go join it in my profile. It's free to just join the basic community. But there you will always know what I'm up to and what I'm doing and my classes and all of that because we're the world that we live in right now. It just requires that we there's so much changing, and so if we have our own spaces to be in, we are not subject to this bullshit that they attempt. That it's here's the thing, it's their platforms, they can do whatever they want. So if they kick you off, then it is what it is. But that's why it's important to have your own space where you can actually participate in another way. All right, you all, we are in the window of the eclipse, and this energy is very intense. And it's in Scorpio. The new moon eclipse was in Taurus, the full moon eclipse is in Scorpio. And the reason that there is so much intensity is because Jupiter and all of these planets have been moving through Pisces, and Pisces is the subconscious, it's the collective unconscious. So everything is up right now. Everything is up. Everything is up for reorganizing, is what I want to say, right? So Pisces energy is where we were giving our authority away, right? And so what are the things that happen in the era of Pisces? The era of Pisces. Religion was born, organized religion. Before the last 2,000 years, we weren't Christians and Muslims and things like that. We were just humans who were here. Existing, and there have been 5 extinctions of human life. 5 times every person, or the majority of the people on the planet, have been wiped away because of some great catastrophe. So what we're living in right now is new. It's really important to know that it's new. And we are catching up, we're rapidly catching up. And so right now at this particular time is the time for us to really be releasing the old paradigm. And the old paradigm has to be released through your consciousness because it's the things that we buy into, right? So we buy into an idea that there is a savior greater than you, that there's somebody on the planet that could access God more than you could, that could have a greater experience of the divine than you. That is an illusion. That is not true. It is not. But the way they organized it so that we won't even attempt or try is they organize that idea. They organize that idea of, God on earth, or, being God in your human form. They organize that idea with religion so that humans would not aspire to it. You wouldn't even think that you could. You would just worship another, right? This is an old, outdated code that is dying right now. And so the work that we're doing right now is really releasing the belief systems and the patterns. And this stuff is rooted in your cells, right? It's like I remember I've shared this before, but one time when I really started studying astrology and learning about the mythology of the human experience, because that's what astrology is. It's the mythology of the human experience imposed upon the planets. And I realized in that one day, I was like, oh my gosh, I still believe that Eve came from Adam's rib. like, and then I started thinking about what that belief did inside of the psyche of a little black girl, because that's when I was taught that. Eve came from Adam's rib. And what that did to me. So as a child, I remember it imposed upon me the idea that men have more power. It imposed upon me the idea that men are more chosen by God. It imposed upon me the idea that because I'm a woman, I come from his rib, I am lesser than him. I am his servant. I belong to him. And so if it imposed that idea upon me, imagine the idea that it imposed upon men. Imagine what it made them believe, right? And all of this is mythology. None of it is actually true. There is nowhere, anywhere in the whole wide world or universe that you will find a man that has birthed a woman from his rib. That's not how it works, right? But there is a metaphor in that. The metaphor is what? The metaphor is that the masculine holds the protection to allow the feminine to do the work of life, to breathe in the lungs, right? The lungs are the process of bringing the feminine to the masculine. That's what the lungs do. The lungs, you know, the lungs take in the air, just like a vagina takes in a penis, right? And so just like the mouth takes in food. So the masculine is the protector of the process of the internal work. And so that's a very different meaning. That is a very different meaning than what was taught to us in Christianity, right? So what we're doing right now, because Jupiter is moving through Pisces, Pisces is the subconscious. It's these deep meanings and deep practices and deep beliefs that we have been practicing for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Beliefs that come from our ancestors, right? This is what we're doing, is we're decoding that in our psyches. We have to let it go. We have to release it. And this is why I create the classes, right? So right now I'm doing a Pluto retrograde class to help us look at what we believe about authority and power and love, and how we got to believe what we believe, and then begin. You have to catch yourself in the act. You have to. There's no other way around it but to catch yourself in the act of it. And until you catch yourself in the act, you will continue to repeat the patterns and do the things over again, over and over and over again. And you'll wonder why. Well, why are they doing that to me? I'm telling you, last year was such a, and here's what I mean, the patterns, right? So let's take this thing that I'm telling you about, my belief that a woman came from a man's rib. So I also then grew up in a family, like I've talked before, my father was abusive to my mother and all that sort of stuff. But my mother was very, 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 I don't want to, maybe I would say she was subservient. My mother was a prostitute. My father was her pimp. So just put the whole pimp prostitute thing on it, right? And this was in my household. She cooked, she cleaned, and that was really who she was, but she was very devoted to his way of being, even at the back of his fist, right? So I took that in. And so last year, even though I've had my own experiences of abusive relationships in my own unique ways, not like my mother and father, but because it was in my DNA, you don't get to skip over the things that your parents don't work out. If they don't work it out, you end up working it out. If they don't fix it, you inherit the broken energy, and it's up to you to fix it, right? So to when I was 19, I was in a relationship where we were violent with one another. That came directly from my parents. But over the years, I was able to sort of really massage that, and I made myself less fiery. I made myself less outspoken. I made myself more demure to the best of my ability. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not really that girl, but I've learned how to be like, okay, I'm not gonna say that, because that is going to start a fight. That is going to make them mad. That is going to be agitating. So I've learned not to do those things. But just last year, I attracted a man into my life where I felt myself fall into the pattern of being subservient, cooking, and what you need. And not that there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it if it is born out of your true way of being. But for me, it's not born out of my true way of being. It's born out of watching my mother be of service to a tyrant. And because we are energetically connected to our mothers, literally the behavior was just in me because my mother had it from her mother and her mother had it from her mother, right? So we just do the things. And so I was like, wow, I'm in this experience, like, and I'm cooking and, like doing all, like, how we, how we do when we are setting the stage for a man, right? So I'm doing all this stuff and I'm like, why am I doing this? Because I don't even really want to do it. But it was in me. It was in my pattern. It was in, so I had to see the pattern so I could break the pattern. The same way, if you guys study nature at all, monarch butterflies, right? If you guys know the story of monarch butterflies, I'm going to tell it really quickly, but go look up a video on it. Monarch butterflies fly every year. Then they die. They lay eggs and then they die. And then those eggs are hatched. And then those eggs are hatched into caterpillars. And then those caterpillars go out and eat, right? Remember that book that called The Little Caterpillar? They eat. All they do is eat. And then they spin a cocoon and then they liquefy in the cocoon and they become a butterfly. And they take the exact same route that the generation before them took without being taught, without being told where to go, because it is in their cell structure. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so for those of us who are Black Americans, we have to understand, and white Americans, not just, all of us, we have to understand that we are programmed through the system which indoctrinated our grandparents and great-grandparents and great-grandparents until it's now here with us, the same behavior. So this man is in my life and I see myself bending and I'm asking myself, like, I'm struggling with it. I'm looking at our astrology and I'm like, oh, this is some karmic shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go with it. So I just start doing it. I just start because I know it's karma, and in my meditation and in my prayer work and the rituals and the things that I teach, I got to see, oh, this is a pattern that is coming up. This pattern is showing itself. It's showing me that I have a natural pattern that is like that is out of Christianity, like that believes that because I'm a woman, I'm subservient to a man, that it's my job to cook for him and clean for him and make him this and then I have a family of men who believe that. I was talking to my brother one day and he is so cute. I love my brother. He is a doll, right? He probably wouldn't like that I said that, but he is such a genuine human being. And he said, Mo, and I was like, yeah, what's up? Guess I realized that I actually believed, I really believed that women were here to serve me, to serve men. I actually believed that. And I said, and then he kept talking. He like went on to keep talking about it, not to talk about that more, but like he changed the subject and started talking about something else. And I said to him, wait 1 second. Just one, okay, wait a minute, don't hurry on too quickly. Come back. Let's have a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of silence for the humongous recognition that you just spoke out loud. He said it. I believed that women were here to serve men. Now, this is my father's son. This is my daddy's son, okay? And this is indoctrinated in men all over the world. This is what they might not say it, and maybe all don't believe it. Maybe all don't. But mostly they do. Mostly they do. And it has been coded in us. And our coding has been, my coding has been, I need one of them to make me feel safe. I need one of them to make me feel like a woman. All of this is coded, made up shit. It's all made up. How do I say it's made up? Because this reality is a blank page. And a white man came to this country, several of them, and they said, let's create something that is going to make us feel really good about ourselves and really powerful and like we are gods and we can do everything. And so this is their system and we're all aligned to it. You can call it Christianity, you can call it, government, but it all comes out of a white man's brain, and we are all playing a role in their movie. Whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. And that's why I say, study the cosmos so that you can understand that the universe is a blank slate. The universe is like, what you want? I got you. And they came over here and they were like, we want to be the kings of the world. We want to be gods. We want to be, and they killed everybody and they got it. And we are now driving all of our energy towards their dream. But it's collapsing. That's the thing. It is collapsing because we are waking up. And as we begin to deconstruct our belief systems, the way we participate, and we buy in all sorts of ways. I'm just talking about the dynamics between man and woman right now, but we can talk about money and health and education, all these ways that we have been a part of this system. And here's the thing, it has served its purpose, not to make it wrong any longer, right? But it's complete. Things run out. Things run their course. If you have a car and you love that car, you could drive it forever, right? You just like, oh, I love this car. This is my car. 20 years, 30. But sooner or later, that car going to be like, baby, I know you love me. And you have done everything, but it is done. Like, we are over. We can't go no more. It's what it is. It is over. It is over. Right? So, because it is over, we have to wake up and take off the costumes, and you have to comb it out of your psyche. You have to wash it out of your system. You have to detox it. And it's everywhere. You will spend the rest of your life detoxing it on some level, right? But the young ones that are being born now, they're born free. They really are born free. They truly are. But those of us, I'm 53. I could be here another 100 years. You know what I mean? Like we're starting to age back, or like all of these things, because we're starting to realize that the medical system is all bullshit. So how do we really heal ourselves? How do we really heal? The education is all, but so what do we really need to learn? What is it that we really want to learn, right? How are we really going to use our energy? I remember there was a time when I used to go to work. I used to leave my house and go to work. I had to. I got a degree. I got a master's degree. Why? Because the system said that's what I needed. I used to go to work every day, all this sort of stuff. The whole world is changing. I haven't been to an office in over a decade because of technology. So all the things that we've been taught that have to happen, all that shit is going away. And while the world is panicking, trying to figure out, they're talking about, prices going up and all that kind of stuff, because that reality is collapsing. That's why. But the universe is not collapsing. The cosmic mama is still here. She ain't going nowhere. Come home. Come home. This is the prodigal son, right? When the son who the father gave him the riches, and the son who was like, okay, I'm gonna go out here and spend all my money. And the one son stayed home. I'm so good, and I'm gonna do it all right. And then the son who spent all his money realized that this is not it. So you got to come home. You have to come home. And it's time for us to come home now. It's time for us to come home. And we have to come home to ourselves. This is where the power is. And this has been a really great adventure. It has been a great adventure. Hooray for white men. They did it. They did their job. Yay, yay. And now they can take their mask off too and come home to themselves, to their true essence, to who they really are, which is not what we have been seeing. I'm just so aware of, it's all been little boys' games. It's just little boys' games is what we've been playing. We've been playing little boys' games. War and, I was watching there's a Marilyn Monroe documentary on Netflix right now. Marilyn Monroe was sleeping with Robert Kennedy and his brother. Like, these people have been here. Literally, this whole reality has been about money and guns and pussy. That is it. Power, control, that's it. That's all little white boys have been aspiring to. Pussy and money, and that's it. That's how they played their game. And power, right? So the whole government, all of it has all been bullshit. All of it. It's all, none of it is anchored in anything that really is for the soul. I mean, you can make anything what you want it to be. You can go in and make it, but it's empty, which is why they get to the top and, go crazy, because they get there and they're like, oh, I'm at the top. And it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, because it's external and it's bullshit. And when it comes fast and it's anchored in harming people and power, your heart is shut down. Your heart is black. No, I don't want to use that language. Your heart is cold, is what I want to say. Your heart is shut. So this game doesn't give you anything that has meaning, because it's all lies. It's all lies, right? So the work for us is releasing. So I want to invite you guys to join the Mercury retrograde class. It starts on May 10th. This Mercury retrograde class is going to be really great, because here's the thing that I have discovered. You have to really learn how to listen in order to become your true self. Like when the person who I am now is so not who I was 3 years ago or 6 years ago, because I had to learn how to listen. I had to learn how to tell myself the truth. I had to learn how to get really transparent. And that's why I create these classes, because we need a safe space to be able to do this stuff. So right now I have a Pluto retrograde. You can register for that. Pluto retrograde, it started a week ago. It goes until October 8th though. And that class is geared towards self-love. Like, do you know how to love yourself? Do you know who you are so that you can love yourself? Because we have notions of love that have nothing to do with love. I just want y'all to know, the things that we believe about love don't have a goddamn thing to do with love. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. And everybody, at least every woman, all the men that I know, but every woman who comes to get a reading from me usually asks about love. And if you're asking about love, you don't know what love is. If you are asking about love, you don't know what love is. So if you are in a question about love, come take my Pluto retrograde class. Because here's the thing, when you know who you are and you are aligned to this universe, you can have whatever you want. So you don't have to ask about love. When is my partner coming? That's some Western mind bullshit. You're not God yet if you're asking. And the only way to live your life right now on this planet is as God. So if you're asking about love, come take my class. If you're holding on to old resentments, if you're skipping over stuff, bypassing stuff, if you have drama and trauma in your family lineage, sexual molestation and all that sort of stuff, come take my class. You need it. Okay? You need it. It is going to support you in breaking these codes, dissolving those energies, freeing up. I'm telling you, these are entities that are planted inside of us, the thinking, right? Well, how come you think people smoke cigarettes when they know cigarettes are bad for them? Because it's they're really addicted. We are also addicted to thoughts and speaking, and we all have these addictions. Some of us think, but we're all in it. Come take the class. The Mercury retrograde class is, if you're ready to rewrite your story, if you've been doing some work already or you're ready to really come in, it starts May 10th, and it's about really learning to listen so that you can rewrite your story and get clear about who you really are. Many of us have been told that we're this and told that we're that, and we're trying, like, I know I spent so many years trying to fit into what I thought was the right thing to do, or the right, I just couldn't, I didn't know, and it never worked for me, and I would just try again. Let me see if I put it in this way. Well, if I do it from this side, maybe it'll work. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Well, let me see if I do it over here, then maybe it'll work. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Nothing's fucking wrong with me. This system is fucked. So if you are ready to really undo your stuff, undo the stuff that, like these relationships and the way we relate to money and reality in our bodies and the way we think about power and all that stuff is key. That stuff is key to your well-being. It's key to your well-being. It's key to your ability to thrive here. So I look forward to seeing all of you in my classes. And I am really excited because we are living through a really incredible experience and time. For those of you who are local here in Los Angeles, come to the studio at Rituals Remedies and Alchemy, and I do new moon meditations, but come get a Reiki session. If you're here, come and book your natal chart and come sit with me. Let's really, it's high time now. We're ready. We're ready. So I love you guys. Somebody duplicated me, right? Like, I'm so fabulous that they wanted to duplicate me, and but I've done all the work. Now somebody gonna try to come and duplicate me and come behind me and get all y'all to like them after I have done all the work. So that's hilarious. But anyway, so don't accept the whatever somebody else in my image is asking you. Please say no, unless you know it's me. And this is where I'm gonna ask, and I'm saying come to the class. I'm not gonna come back and say do a reading, all that kind of stuff. If you guys want to do readings, all that sort of stuff, of course. But you can go to my website, MoniqueRuffin.com. I have a website, MoniqueRuffin.com. You can join Follow the Sun. All right, peace and blessings, everybody. I love you guys. Have a really beautiful day. Bye.